Yep, that's working. Hit that stream button on OBS. Wait for it to register. It's registered. Hit the go live button. You ready?
Yeah, let's go for it.
And we're live here on Facebook, like to welcome those listening in podcast land. And, like to welcome my buddy Rich. We're not together, but, a more normal, what used to be a normal, close to normal time.
We're back in the studio. We're back in the studio.
Yeah. So how's it going today, Rich?
Not too bad. Kind of an up and down week with the having the services for Grandma Arliss, who passed away over Thanksgiving weekend. But just nice to know she's no longer suffering and she's reunited with Grandpa. So
yeah. But
how was your week? You got to go to a Bears game.
Short week,
so
but
you had a
busy
short week.
Yeah. We have a 13-team wrestling tournament going on at the school right now. East Rocket League started, and just craziness of travel and all that. But we're back. We're ready to go. We'll get this started. Rich, I'm going to recap my experience at the Bears-Vikings game.
During the Bears recap.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm also going to. We're going to talk about. We'll talk about the Masked Singer. What else do we got, Rich?
We got to talk. We got a lot of football, as with all the other sports kind of on hiatus, since we don't really care too much about hockey and basketball. Really heavy on the NFL. But next week, we'll have some baseball to talk about as the winter meetings start on Tuesday, in between show to show. So, Mike, what's the time to do?
It's time to roll the intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. Okay, we're back. Okay, Rich. So before we get anything else started, we got a poll question to talk about. We're talking Frosted Flakes versus Lucky Charms. The fact that this is as close as it was shocks me.
Okay.
I mean, Lucky Charms, come on now.
No, I went with Frosted Flakes. I really don't like the sugar. I don't really like marshmallows in my cereal that much.
You're going to say you don't like the amount of sugar? Frosted Flakes is just corn flakes coated in sugar.
Yeah, but I just don't like the marshmallows. So,
man, incredibly close match, by the way. 6-7.
Wow, I didn't think it was going to be that close.
Yeah. Solomon Stroop, Sue Hart, Lana Georgie, Matt Myers, Jennifer Kaisley Kincaid, and you, Rich, are the 6 votes for the Frosted Flakes. Lucky Charms wins. Me, Jordan Stroop, Pam Hendricks, Josh Hendricks, Brandon Close, Brent and Catherine Farmer, and Josh Couture are the 7 that voted for Lucky Charms. Thanks for everyone that voted on that. That was greatly appreciated.
Yeah, so I do have 2 things on these 2 cereals. So one that just came up this week. Mike, you like cheesy potatoes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the luncheon for the funeral, and we're eating cheesy potatoes, and my wife's tasting it was like, something's different about these. These taste really sweeter. So I go up and grab a couple spoonfuls of it, and she wanted a little bit more, and I taste the same thing. So she says, "Did they put Frosted Flakes instead of Corn Flakes on the cheesy potatoes?"
Wow.
And they did. really great. Try it sometime.
Oh,
We're going to
really?
hopefully work that. Yeah, it was really good.
To me, that
so
sounds
we're going to try.
not as good, but okay.
Yeah, it was good. But with Lucky Charms, I remembered we're having brunch at up at Northern Illinois with some friends, and they were saying, well, they just wanted to have all marshmallows, all Lucky Charms marshmallows, a complete bowl of that. I don't know how many times going up and filling bowls they had to get a full bowl of just marshmallows. But then I'm working at the food pantry at our church, and there's the bag of just marshmallows.
Wow.
So do you like the Lucky Charms because of the marshmallows, or because of the cereal and the marshmallows?
So the marshmallows puts it over the top, but without the cereal, you don't get the texture. So you need the texture of the cereal next to the marshmallow. Otherwise, it just doesn't work, in my opinion. Now,
Okay.
we also, I mean, this is the second time. Didn't Count Chocula win on our Halloween special one?
Yeah, I think it did.
So, I mean, I almost asked, do you count all the bonuses of that, which is basically Count Chocula is chocolate cereal instead of the regular Lucky Charms, but just with the Lucky Charms stuff. So, Rich, we do have a poll question going live like now-ish. And what's that going to
go once we get off?
Yeah.
But we're going to go with pancakes versus bagel and cream cheese.
Ooh. Man, that bagel and cream cheese one, don't sleep on it. And it also depends on what kind of cream cheese. It depends on what kind of bagel. Depends on the combination of the two. That could be a good one.
Your choice. Or, there's dozens of styles of pancakes, too.
Oh, yeah. Chocolate chip, blueberry. Those are the only ones that
so we'll
regulars.
just leave it open-ended as far as we won't specify the bagel. We won't specify the type of pancake.
By the way,
go ahead.
That does remind me. I forgot to tell the story. So you remember how I was super excited for Hotel Waffles when I went to state?
Yes.
When I went to state with the team, the hotel didn't have waffles.
They didn't have waffles.
They had a pancake press, is what they called it, but it was basically.
Keep talking.
Yeah, it was basically just a pancake. It was like a conveyor belt that made pancakes for you. It was a little weird, but it was like the guys loved it. I ended up eating they had biscuits and gravy. So, I mean, come on.
So was it like little silver dollar pancakes?
No, I mean, so they were. I mean, they were about the size of this thing. Maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. But man, I'm sorry for those listening in podcast land. My pop filter is about 3 to 4 inches in diameter, and those were about the size of them. Not super tiny, but not super massive, all at the same time. The guys said they were great. Again, I was eating biscuits and gravy because, biscuits and gravy. So, yeah, I was really excited for it, and I was all game, and it made it work for me. But I did not get what I was hoping for. So, yeah. Rich, anything else on the poll question before we move on?
I don't. So were anybody else disappointed that there wasn't the make your own waffle station?
Nope. They were all thrilled with pancakes because they're
all
teenagers.
Pancakes.
So
okay.
Let's head into the gridiron as we have NFL talk a lot of NFL talk. We have a bunch of games that we have to cover. Oh no, we have the same amount of normal games, I suppose.
Same amount of normal, but you got to tell us about the Bears-Vikings game.
I do. Okay, so let's start with locks of the week. Rich, it was your week, so give us how those locks went.
Well, Mike, my lock got picked as I chose the Saints over the Falcons, and maybe a little bit of a faux pas. as you don't pick divisional games, and it didn't work out as the Falcons won 14-15, dropping me to 6-6. Mikey chose the Chiefs over the Raiders, a solid pick with the as a get right game. The Chiefs dominated in that victory as it was 31-17. And your mark is at 7-5. Mike, how'd the upsets go?
Upset specials, Richie. You picked the Bucks to beat the Colts. Unfortunately, that didn't come true as the Colts beat the Bucks 27-20, dropping you to 8-4 on the season. I also failed this week as I picked the Bills over the Eagles, and the Eagles won 37-34 in overtime, dropping me to 6-6 on the year. Rich,
yeah, both were close games. Close games.
Yep.
Probably the Bucks and the Colts were. There was probably some garbage time in there.
Yep.
But I mean, I was kind of surprised with how close the Bills Eagles game was. I was not expecting that. Mike, the Bears game that you were at, it was a 12-10 narrow victory for the Bears
without a touchdown by the Bears.
Yes. So, Mike, you're at 8-4. I'm at 7-5, and I think they said that was the first time that a team had won without scoring a touchdown since 2019.
Yep.
Not just the Bears, but an entire NFL team winning.
Yeah, and it's the first time that the Bears have done it since, I want to say 93 is something. I think I saw something like 93. I don't remember exactly.
But yeah, I think I watched most of that game. I think I might have missed a little bit in the third when I went to get cleaned up. And
I haven't gotten to watch it yet. I watched the first drive. So I want to do. Have you ever been to a NFL game?
No, I have not.
Okay, maybe one of these years you and I'll, if we can convince our wives to let us save up a little extra money, more than we normally do, we can convince them to let us go to a Bears-Vikings game up in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Spend a little bit more money, but still get what I would. I mean, man, the seats I had. Well, I guess we're gonna go into it. So first and foremost, make sure you get parking close enough, or you're ready to walk, because we did have a decent hike through downtown, and as much as the connected skywalk connects everything, I couldn't figure out how to get around it. You had to go up and down and around, and I think we ended up doing a full circle and just walking the entire thing outside after doing a lap inside, which didn't help us a ton. We kept doing that, and then after we got done there, we get there. The stadium is shockingly hidden in town. So it is, I mean, it's fine, but it's shockingly like all of a sudden you're there and there's buildings all around you, and then there's the stadium and the opening for the stadium, which is kind of crazy. We get there. They have the giant Viking ship out front. We took pictures in front of it. We go up. People are stopping me because, Rich, what do you think I was wearing for this trip?
You had to want some sort of Bears gear.
Well, that too. So I wore a Bears shirt, but that's not why people were stopping me.
Okay, what is that?
What do I wear on the bottoms all the time?
Were you wearing flip-flops and shorts?
I was wearing shorts and flip-flops, sir.
Okay.
And everybody's like, "You must be a true Minnesotan." And I'm like, I open my shirt and say, "No, I'm from Illinois." But had a great time. The stadium itself is quite beautiful. We were in the top level, but we were in the front row of the top level.
Okay.
So our seats, I thought they were great and comfortable. I mean, they're narrow. They are not designed for somebody as wide as I am, let alone somebody much bigger, which we had a couple guys that were bigger than me on the trip with us. So that was uncomfortable for them. but the stadium was great. The skull chant's great. They apparently have their own drum line that I didn't know about, but got to watch that. The entertainment before the show was all right. I don't think it was great. Mostly we were taking in the sights and the sounds of the stadium. We do all of that stuff, go and do our thing, or we get to our seats. Tall boy a beer. Rich, how much do you think?
I'm gonna go with $8.50.
That's about 2/3 the price.
Wow. Okay.
It was like $12 or $13.
All right. So did you have the traditional hot dog, or was there a?
Oh, I didn't eat
was there
anything at the
something
game.
special?
I didn't eat
anything. Okay.
at the game. I wasn't super hungry. We had Five Guys for lunch, and Five Guys I forget regularly how badly Five Guys does on my stomach, and so I just wasn't ready for food.
Gotcha.
So we're sitting at the game. One thing to me that, and this is where I was going when I was talking about I got to watch the first drive. I've sat on sidelines of games in high school regularly, and I've been on the sidelines on a couple college games. Not that I cared, but I had the opportunity. And there's always entertainment generally provided by the marching band doing stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had stuff, but the entertainment value for me wasn't great. Maybe it's because I'm a Bears fan and I was in hostile territory, but it felt slow at times. Like, not the gameplay itself was fast, but like as much as, well, sure. Here, the best example is between the game or between the plays, the NFL or the broadcast, they're talking about 6 different things in that 40-second time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have so much that they're talking about. It feels like it just goes super quick. Well, when you're just up there with your buddies, you can have those conversations, but there's not. I mean, yeah, they're doing the first down and the third down, trying to do the skull chant and all that stuff, and that's fine. But it didn't seem. It doesn't feel. The game itself. The gameplay is faster paced than anything I've ever seen. That was crazy to watch. But the actual between plays stuff did feel like it took a lot longer than it should have. But that being said, it was kind of amazing.
Cool.
We were right on the end zone line the way the Bears were going in the first and fourth quarter. So the Santos miss happened kind of in front of us. We were on that. Basically, we were looking right down the goal line on the visitor side, and it was great. The seats were amazing. Like the view was great. Other things that are fun, in the background if you watch in the background, there's you're like, man, there's a lot of people taking pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they're doing. They actually have an app that you download and it syncs your phone flashlight to the stadium.
Huh.
And so it blinks like when they want it to and does stuff like that. So that was kind of cool to see. I didn't end up doing it, mostly because I didn't want to show support for the wrong team. If I go back, would I go back? You have that as a question here. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I did. Would you go back?
I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. Again, the biggest thing. So you hear a lot about fans who are of the opposing team going and getting harassed. Rich, we've been to games in many stadiums. And as always, I think the key is your attitude. If you go in and you're jovial with people and you're just joking around and you're not like, oh, look how great Justin, blah, blah, and you're not looking for a fight, at least in Minnesota, it felt fine.
So it was good-natured ribbing.
Oh, yeah.
Off of those 4 interceptions. He threw another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
The defenses never looked this good.
And things like, I was like, I mean, in all honesty, yes, I came and I hope for a win, but I expect and kind of want a loss in the long run, looking at better draft position, better this, better that. So, I mean, yeah, that was great. But outside of that, everything, I mean, it was fun. I would do it again. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I would buy those exact same seats. So, if you and Amy want to end up going sometime, I would be willing to do that. But I also am, I mean, I don't know. Part of me also found out that if you sit on, so I don't know if I told you this. Have I ever told you what the price of the tickets right at the, like, basically where you would do where they would do the Lambeau Leap in Minneapolis? Those are, again, hear what I'm saying. The tickets that we had, they were only those seats are only 5 times more expensive, 5 or 6 times more expensive than the seats that I was sitting in. So if I were to buy, if I went and everybody was buying their own ticket, it would be about the same price as what my out of pocket would be about the same as what I spent this time.
Okay.
So I would enjoy doing something like that. I might do something like that with some friends here. But overall, would I go back? Yes. Would I would prefer it to be a day game, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we say the same things when we go up to Milwaukee.
Right.
Great time going up and at the game, but that drive home, oof, you're feeling it on that drive home.
So we ended up staying in Shakopee with Danielle's aunt, which made it work better. So that was kind of
gotcha.
Nice.
All right, well, it's great to hear you had a good time. The Bears pulled off, and probably, I still think it's an upset.
100% it was an upset.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the Vikings lost that game just as much as the Bears won the game. And since Josh Dobbs had like 4 turnovers in that game.
Something that needs to be said about that, I mean, my question is Josh Dobbs finally showing who he really is?
I think so. I mean, it's a reason why he's a journeyman quarterback that's never caught on with a single team.
Yeah.
Or he's always been the third string quarterback.
Right.
That's worked his way to being the backup and then to an emergency starter.
Yeah. And so I think that's more what we're seeing, and I don't think the Bears played extraordinarily well. They didn't. And evidence, we won because we got 4 field goals.
And
didn't even get a touchdown.
Lost the game. You could have even made the case you darn near lost the game, even though you forced 4 turnovers, since they just could not find the end zone.
I mean, in the last month, the Bears were. I mean, when we played Detroit, we were a positive 4. We were the first team in NFL history to have a positive 4 turnover rate and still lose the game. How does that happen? So, either way, great experience, great time. Love to go back. Yeah.
All right, and to wrap up our NFL coverage from week to week, we had a Seahawks-Cowboys Thursday night game, and that was 41-35. Cowboys, the Seahawks becoming the first team to lose a game after scoring 35 plus points and not punting
Wow.
during the entire game. So, Mike, I'm 12-3 on Thursday games. Mike, you are 9-6.
Yeah, wow.
And looking over at the pick'em, Captain Rory was our winner this week with 12 correct points, even though he did not submit a pick for the first Thanksgiving game. So he missed out on a chance to maybe get point number 13 if he picked the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Mike, we both came in last as we both got 8 picks.
Wow. Yep.
Yes. Overall standings, Captain Rory leads with 119. Mike, I'm in second with 112. Mike, you're in fourth with 102.
And Zach
So keep
Borchers
making those
is in
picks.
third.
Remember to hit the save button if you change your picks. And as always, with all the injuries that are happening, make sure to update those picks if you set them in advance and with the submit them and forget them route.
Yep. Okay. Let's move on to week 13. Rich, with my pick, my lock of the week, I am going to pick a get-right game as I think the Lions win over the Saints.
Yeah, I like that pick. I mean, it's is that game in Detroit? I didn't check. Is that
I forgot.
in
I just
Detroit
got out
or in
of it.
New Orleans? But I still think it's a safe pick. Jared Goff tends not to play as well on the road, but it's at least
in
it's
New
a game
Orleans.
Yeah, but it's still it is a dome game at least,
Right.
so he doesn't have to worry about the elements. For me, Mike, I'm gonna try and get this is more of a get right matchup for me, as I need to get back on the winning side, and I'm gonna go with the Jaguars over the Joe Burrow-less Bengals.
Yeah. That's man, that's rough. Upset special of the week, Rich. I'm going to pick the Cardinals over the Steelers, as the Steelers haven't been looking great. We'll get where we have them in our power rankings in just a minute, but
Okay.
I think the Cardinals easily could be overlooked by the Steelers, as I just think I think that this could be not necessarily a full trap game, but the Steelers have New England on Thursday, and so it's not a trap game because I don't think that New England is that much better than the Cardinals, but in that it's immediately going into a Thursday night game. Thursday night games tend to split your focus a little bit, and you don't have enough time, and so that's what I'm thinking might end up happening.
All right, Mike. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Broncos over the Texans. Two surprise teams with the Texans coming off how bad they've been over the past couple of years. And then the Broncos just turning their season around with Sean Payton finally getting things right. And they're on like a 6-game winning streak, I think. So I think it's going to continue and they can pull an upset in Houston. Mike, there is no Bears game this week because they are on bye.
Woo! We don't lose.
Football, yeah, Thursday night football. You hinted that the Steelers are playing, and they are playing against the Patriots, and that game is in Pittsburgh. Mike, who are you picking?
I think the Steelers pull this one off, and yeah,
I agree because those Patriots are pretty bad. To where it's bad in New England when they're talking about how much longer does Bill Belichick have.
Yeah,
so I don't think
that's not
improves.
a normal conversation for them to have. Real quick, let's do some NFL news as the Panthers fired Frank Wright as their head coach. Good call, bad call?
I think it's a little bit of a head scratcher
Yep.
for me. I mean, the Panthers, I think I saw something like the Panthers have had more coaches during the David Tepper ownership era of 6 years than the Pittsburgh Steelers have had since the 70s.
Yeah.
7 coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it takes time to get the right. I mean, I kind of see it both ways. I mean, did Frank Wright really get a chance to put his stamp on the team in just 7 games or 12 games, wasn't it? No, I don't think he did. But I mean, we were all laughing about how the Texans did the same thing, and they finally got the right coach in there. They went through David Culley getting a year being one and done, Lovie Smith being one and done or two and done, and they got the right hire with D'Amico Ryan. So maybe this is the Panthers finally getting the right coach. So they decided to cut bait now instead of waiting until the end of the year or waiting until things got really bad,
Um,
even worse. So Carolina joins Las Vegas as teams with openings.
yeah. Um,
And I don't think I think there's going to be a lot of jobs opening this year.
I hope that the Bears job is open. But we'll see.
You know, if anything, the past two games with Fields under center, the defenses look good. It's just the offense I think still needs some more tweaking. So I think if Eberflus survives, it's going to be with a new offensive coordinator coming on board
Oh, 100%.
and him getting a probably a better defensive assistant, and maybe him saying, you know what, the defense rebounded when I took over play calling, so I'm going to keep the play calling, but I'm going to hire him as my defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Okay.
Since they lost some.
So 3 jobs currently available, and I would expect at least 4 more, if not more.
Yeah, for me, I think the writing's on the wall in San Diego and Washington.
Yep.
But those two are probably going to add to it. The Bears might fire their coach.
More reason why I hope the Bears fire their coach. By the way, you just said the team that I hope if they do fire their coach, they go after that guy.
I can see Ron Rivera coming on as an assistant. I don't know if I see him as a head coach.
There are 2 people that are in headlines that very much I could see being head coaches at the Bears, and both look like they're going to be available this offseason. Fire Eberflus.
Those 2 people.
Well, for me, I think Ron Rivera's probably, you're right. Ron Rivera's pick 2. If you don't get Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think Harbaugh is going to jump. I think Harbaugh is going to jump to the NFL. But the one thing that kind of cautions me with Harbaugh is that would the Bears be willing to pay the type of salary that he's going to want, and how much personnel control could he want?
Yep.
Since the Bears would have an income, and it would have I think Poles stays, so I don't know what front office control he would have with an incumbent GM staying in place, though.
Yep. No, I totally agree with that and understand it. So, Rich, are you ready?
I am ready for some power rankings after taking a couple weeks off from looking at these together. So, Mike, we're going to look at the top 10, the bottom 5, and where we have the Bears, even though I don't think that's all in the same. But we'll start with the top 10. Mike, my number 1 team, they're the best team record-wise in the league. So I had to stick them at number 1. I went with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, as much as I don't like the fan base, I agree with your assessment. And then I put the second best record at number 2 as prove me wrong that Baltimore is the second best team in the league.
Yep, I went with the Ravens as well. Good defense, and Lamar Jackson is healthy, so their record is reflected in that.
Yep.
Mike, who do the power rankings and the ELO have at 1 and 2?
So the power rankings and ELO both have the Eagles at number 1. At number 2, the power rankings agree with us. The ELO actually still has San Francisco at number 2.
I don't have San Francisco that high. My number 3 team is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
They're losing some close games, and that offense just doesn't look like the same offense that it has in years past. But I think there's still time for them to get it sorted out. I think the main job for them is to make sure that they have that number 1 overall seed in the conference, so they get that bye week and they get that home playoff game. There's still some time to get for them to get that. So, Mike, who do you have at number 3?
I, too, have the Kansas City Chiefs. We are right on par. At number 4 is where I have the San Francisco 49ers.
I agree. I was tempted to move them up, up to number 4, since I was tempted to almost move them ahead of the Chiefs, but I might wait a week on that, depending on how
How the week
how
goes?
the next round of game, how the week goes.
Okay, the ELO has the Chiefs at 3, as well as the power rankings, and at number 4 they have the Baltimore Ravens, and at the ELO has the Baltimore Ravens. The power rankings actually have a tie, and I don't have a tiebreaker situation set up, so the power rankings have the Chiefs and the Niners tied at 3.
Okay. So
At
Mike,
number
rounding out
5,
go ahead.
the ELO has the Dallas Cowboys, and so does the power rankings, surprisingly enough. So
Right, who did you put?
I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know why.
You, Mike.
This is one of those where maybe it's the unbelievableness that for me that they're actually there and that they're playing so much better. Their gameplay looks better, but the fact that they look so much better than what I expected them to do, maybe that's why I gave them a nod. But they're playing great football.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, I think I have them at 5-2. I think the tiebreaker for me might have been that having their division lead
Yeah.
and having some good losses. I mean, the Chiefs and the 49ers are ranked above them. So, yeah, they lost to those teams. But the teams that I have ranked below them have a loss to a team that's much lower down in the rankings. So
Yep.
that's why I gave the Jaguars the nod and go up to 5, and then at 6 I put the Dallas Cowboys.
So this is where I have the Detroit Lions
Okay.
leading the division. All the things that you just said, except for who their losses are to. But I think that if they can get right, I think they're a better team. But I'm not sure. At number 6, the power rankings have the Jags. At number 5, the power rankings have the Cowboys. So does the ELO. And then the Jags and then the ELO, for some reason, has the Buffalo Bills still ahead. But I guess they were so good coming into the season that probably helps their impact on how the season's going. And then at number 7, Rich, I got the Miami Dolphins.
Okay. I put the Lions at 7. Yeah, they're leading their division, which Dallas can't say, but both Dallas and Detroit are just beating up on bad teams. Just beating up on the bad teams, and I put the Dolphins at number 8 because they just can't seem to beat a team with a winning record.
So I was going to say, I think if I would have done this, if I would have thought it through, I would have flip-flopped the Cowboys, which is who I have at 8. I would have flip-flopped the Cowboys and the Dolphins, and for a very different but yet similar reason.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for the shoe to drop on Tua.
Yeah,
I need him to get
fair.
through a full season, and so I have him at 7. They are behind the Lions and the Jags. They probably should have been the worst. They probably should have been the 8 team, if not 9, because I'm waiting for for Tua to get hurt, and once that happens, instantly they drop down to a bottom half team, I think.
Okay. All right, Mike. So who did you put at 8?
Number 8, I had the Cowboys.
Okay. And number 9, this is where I put the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, okay. Shocking from you?
Yeah, a little bit, but you can't argue with the results. They're winning games somehow, even though they're not putting a lot of points on the board. So yeah, I went with the Steelers here.
I think the reason I have my team at 9, that I have at 9, has everything to do with the fact that they're doing what we asked Pete Carroll to do for all those years, but in a way that's more controlled.
Okay.
Denver is actually cooking with Russ. So I have Denver at number 9.
All right, I put the Broncos at 10,
Okay.
even though the Browns have a better record than them.
So the Steelers and the Browns both have a better record than the Cowboys or than the Broncos. Something about the Steelers' year this year, I still question, but I have them at 10. At 11, okay. By the way, shock of the year. Rich, if I would have told you going into the season, when we started the season this year, if I would have told you that both of us would have Houston within striking distance of the top 10, how crazy would you have said I was?
I would not have thought that this big of a turnaround with D'Amico Ryans and with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach, they'd be able to be up this high in the rankings. And I prep my power rankings as if we're going to share them every single week, and I think I've had Texas as high as 8 at one time during our rankings. So they've been playing good football. There's a chance that they could make the playoffs under this setup.
The way that it looks like I expect them to almost. I actually expect them to. So let's go. So I have them at 11. Where do you have them, Rich?
I have them at 12. I have the Browns at 11. They're proven that you can win games with defense and just enough offense. So
the Browns have become my team in the NFL that I am disgusted with, I think is a fair way for me to put it. And so I think that's probably why I dropped them down to 12.
Okay. We're not that far off.
Rich, where do you let's go, because I know that we probably both are going to get in the bottom 5. We're going to have our team there. But let's finish out the NFC North. Where do you have the Vikings and the Packers? And let's start there. Where do you have the Vikings?
Okay. The Vikings, I put them at 15. So
okay.
I put them at 15. They lost to the Bears.
Yep.
They didn't look good losing to the Bears.
Yep.
And so I put them. I almost wanted to put them around the Vikings at the Bills at 14 instead. But if anything, the Bills almost pulled off that upset against the Eagles. So I gave that a little bit. That was like that tiebreaker. And so yeah, that's why I put the Vikings at was 15, and I put the Packers at 17 with their recent as maybe the best 5-6 team.
Rich, you and I are almost mind melded for a lot of these. I have the Vikings at 14, and I have the Packers at 17.
Yep.
Man. Okay, let's move down to our bottom. I have to go 6.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll start at team number 27 then?
26.
Maybe 27? 26, okay. 26, I put the Tennessee Titans here.
This is where I have the Bears. That win this week, I know that it's a divisional game, so that shouldn't hold as much merit, and the Vikings are not as good as they should look. But the Bears are at 4-8. I have them as the lowest ranked 4-8 team. And yes, probably this week they go down probably a peg to the Titans, but as a 4-win team, they are at the top there, or at the bottom there.
Okay, that's fair.
Who do you have at 27? 27
is where I put the New York Football Giants.
Okay, I don't blame you for that. At 27, this is where I have the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
At 28, I have the Raiders.
At 28, I put the Washington Commanders.
Okay. So let me give some justification for the Raiders. I think they're all flash and no real substance. If you look, their talent pool isn't amazing, and again, they're technically head coachless.
Yep. I probably do have the Raiders ranked a little higher than I should, because I have them at 21.
Wow, Rich.
If anything, because I think that they're looking better than the Joe Burrow-less Bengals. They played better than the Jets. So it's probably a little high, and they're probably going to see them drop next week.
Okay, at 20, that was 28 that we just did. At 29,
yeah, 29 is where I have the Bears. They're probably going to be moving up. I think a little bit. They're probably going to be moving up next week. I want to see it. I want to see it duplicate.
Okay.
The fact that you've had 7 turnovers in the last 2 games, and you barely won the second game where you had 3+ turnovers.
Yeah.
It's a little bit concerning for me. So I want to see improvement. But with the Commanders and the Giants both playing this week, probably losing their games, more than likely the Bears will probably go up to 27, depending on the results of the New York and Washington games this week. Number 30, Mike. Who do you have at number 29?
29. I have the New England Patriots.
Okay, I have the Patriots a little bit lower. Mike, who do you have at 30?
At 30, I have the New York Football Giants.
All right, I put the Arizona Cardinals here at 30.
At 31, I have the Cardinals.
31 is where I have the Patriots.
Oh, okay. I think that as much as everybody hates him, Bill Belichick gives enough credence to a team to make them better than another team with the exact same record, basically. So that's why I went that way. At 32, rounding it out, all together now, the Carolina Panthers.
Yep, Carolina.
Looking good for a first-round draft pick, or first overall pick for the Panthers. Oh, wait, never mind. We'll take that. Also, the Bears need to. By the way, need to. This is a almost have to lose on the 23rd, or is it the 24th that they play the Arizona Cardinals? It has to be a loss.
Let me look that up real quick to see when they face the Cardinals. They face the Cardinals, it looks like.
It's Christmas week.
Yeah, they do. So they're off 13, 14, 15. Yeah, week 15 is Bears Cardinals in Chicago.
Yeah, they have to lose that game.
Lose that
game. I don't care if you put out Rich. The Bears need a quarterback. I know that you might die by getting hit 100 times in a game, but you're going to go play. Like, sorry, you're not going to have legs or arms anymore, but that's how terribly we need to do in this game.
Yeah, look at the Bears' schedule. We'll give it week-to-week predictions, but you got the Lions in Chicago after the bye in 14.
Yep.
You got the Browns, who are winning with now they're going to pull in the ancient elderly Joe Flacco to be their starting quarterback.
Yeah, I don't even care about that. I'm saying the Bears need to lose that game in order to provide a little bit of cushion for the Panthers.
Yeah, you never know. Are they going to try and turn things around under the interim coach?
Maybe.
Or are they going to continue to struggle?
I hope not. Okay, with that would be our power rankings of the week. Let's head to our quick hits as we have to talk about the NFL in-season tournament. Rich, we don't even need to give the teams. Who do you think out of the teams left are gonna make it?
Well, I don't want to see them win it, but I think the media wants to see them win it. I'm going to go with LeBron James and the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't like that pick, and I don't think they will. I don't think they have that team's proven anything to me yet in their actual ability. I'm going to go with the Bucks.
All right. I like it. I mean, if anything, Out of the teams in the West, I mean, they have a tough matchup with the Suns, I guess, in their first game of this NBA in-season tournament. But if anything, I mean, the Lakers team has played together, whereas the Suns are still getting used to each other with all those with the team that they assembled over the summer, over the
Yep.
over the summer. But yeah, I like the pick of the Bucks though.
Okay.
And next week we'll probably have some MLB news to talk about as the winter meetings start on the 3rd. So we could have some news with new Cubs signing in town. As when you get that many folks in the same room together, trades and free agent signings tend to happen.
Do you think do you think that next week we will know where Shohei Ohtani is going?
I think so. I mean, the latest rumor says that Texas, Boston are, and the Yankees are bowing out, to where it's just down to the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Blue Jays, and the Angels.
Yeah. Okay. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We are going to talk about The Masked Singer. We are going to give spoilers for The Masked Singer. If you don't want to hear it, goodbye. Thanks for coming. Rich, if they don't want to hear it, but they do want to listen to the rest of the podcast while they're driving, where should they go?
Look us up wherever you download your other favorite podcasts. Spotify, iHeart, Apple, just to name a few. Mike, if they're listening to us in podcast land and they want to see the live or the audio or the video feed, where are the two places they can find it?
So if you want to watch us live, check us out on facebook.com/ballsandsticks, or go over to YouTube and look for Rich and I playing baseball. Okay, I think this is the final spoiler alert, as we are going to talk Masked Singer and everything involved. This week, Rich, we saw the Group A finals. And with the Group A finals, we saw the
Gazelle,
the Gazelle,
S'more,
yep,
and the Cow.
Yeah.
Mike, I mean, I was kind of surprised by who went home. I mean, I don't.
So
I think I really wasn't upset with who went home, but as I thought, oddly enough, Mike, I thought the weakest performer won the night.
So
I did not think the Cow had the best performance.
I don't think the Cow had the best performance, but I think the Cow still was up there and deserved to be there. So, so yeah.
So, all right, Mike. So who ended up going home, Mike?
So the S'more went home, and that was Ashley Parker Angel, famed for his what group was he with again?
Well, they said I thought he was from O-Town.
O-Town, yeah. And if I remember, wasn't that the band that like had that reality show building up to it, Making the Band, right?
I'm not familiar with my boy bands, so
I think O-Town was part of Making the Band. Like it was this contrived like reality competition similar to similar to American Idol, but take American Idol, mix it with Big Brother, and you got this show, and it was they put out this group called O-Town. I remember watching the show and thinking it was annoying. And then I think the band itself didn't do great. They were hoping that this would like turn into the biggest selling boy band of them all. And I think, hang on, let me look it up now.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really followed the boy bands that much.
Okay, yes.
And,
so
that was beyond. That was.
I was able to pull it up pretty quick. Yes, O-Town, the band that he was a part of, was part of Making the Band, and their top they had one single, by the way,
Okay.
make it number one overall on the Billboard charts. I don't understand it. I think it's terrible.
I mean, it was it was a tough decision that needed to be made.
Yeah.
And I think, but looking at if you were going to look at their entire body of work of Group A, I think I liked this more the best. So both my wife and I were kind of shocked when he was the one who's revealed as third in Group A and going home automatically.
I wonder if that show's on Hulu.
I don't know. But Mike, then there was a battle royale between the cow and the gazelle.
Yeah. So I thought the gazelle did the best standard version of the song. But with such an iconic song. By the way, it was Disco Night, which I hate disco. With the way that the gazelle did it, and I forget what the song was.
I thought it was It's Raining Men.
Yeah, was it?
I think it was It's Raining Men.
Okay.
No. Or was it I Will Survive? I don't remember.
It was I Will Survive. It was I Will Survive. That's what it was. To take us, wow, I really popped that one. To take a song like that and to be that, to take it and flip it on its head so much, I think that takes a lot of skill and a lot of talent. I think showed that the gazelle or that the cow is better, is a better talented singer, but not. It was I Will Survive, and honestly, I think they did better on it. I think he did.
Okay.
I think the gazelle did, or the cow did way better. Yeah. So, with that,
but I mean, the cow won the night.
Yep.
But did a second person go home, Mike?
No, because the ding dong keep it on was wrong, and they kept Gazelle around, which means if anybody in either of the other two groups is great, you're not going to see them come back.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of odd that they used it on the first week, but I think any week that they used it, it would have been that surprise reaction. Hold on, we didn't talk about that. Why'd you do that?
Well, so here's the thing, though. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong on here. But I think the best, I think Group A overall had the best top three. So I'm not that worried about it. I think they actually saved the right person. I think those two were better than anybody we've seen so far, than what we've seen. Now, does that mean that any of the other performers can't have a better night than either one of these two did this week? No. But as of right now, I think it's where it's at. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they're probably they're in a little bit of a time crunch to get this season wrapped up before Christmas, but
Yep.
I think I would have liked to have seen, instead of a ding dong bell, you take the three runner-ups in each group and then you throw them into their own episode as a wild card to go to the finals. So you have a four-person finals.
Yep, I like that too. Okay, Rich.
Anything to provide on Rocket League? Yeah.
We started the season. We will go live Tuesday for JV, Thursday for varsity.
Very nice. So
I'll try to get that posted.
Yeah. So if you have any Twitch live streams of that, Mike,
it'll be Facebook. We're moving over to Facebook.
Okay.
Or YouTube. I mean, sorry, YouTube.
YouTube. Gotcha. So feel free to use our show's websites to post those.
Yep.
To post those if you would like, Mike.
Okay, Rich, do you have any shout-outs this week?
I got a birthday shout out. My nephew Brady has an upcoming birthday, so they're coming up Sunday to celebrate that.
I was waiting because my personal shout-out is my nephew Nathan's birthday is today.
Nice.
So, happy birthday to you two. Have a great day. And, Rich, what's it time to do?
Mike, why don't you go ahead and roll that outro?
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.